Hello, welcome to Everyday Experts. I am not today, I'm your interviewee. I have put together a triumvirate of greatness to ask questions and to, as Jimmy said, bring the smoke. As Mitch said, poke the bear. And as M said, something hyperactive that I did not hear. But that's okay. So today on Everyday Experts, I brought a cast along with me to interview me because I didn't want to bring just one person because I am me, and that would be too simple. Um, we're gonna take flight. You know him. You know he's wrong. Coming to the stage, Jimmy Nails.
Always wrong. Used to it. Go on.
Mr. Nails.
Hello.
I went into the drugs of my high school yearbook, my middle school yearbook. It was junior high back then. And I dug up my best friend. Some people call him amazing and awesome. I just call him Sir Twitch. Mr. Jaworski.
What it is.
What it is. What's up? And last, certainly not least, the beauty to the beast on the camera, the one and only, the effervescent. I put sparkles in her name, Emily.
I like sparkles. Thank you.
I am. Oh, hey.
Hey.
Hi. Hi. Mitch is trying to leave early, which he absolutely will not accomplish. But I know he thinks he is. That's his goals to leave us early. So I am going to turn it over to you guys for a bit. Hold on one second. I don't care who asked what question when. You guys can fist fight about that. We're going to ask some questions. I would like to have a conversation, but, if you want to just ask me questions, you can, because nobody ever asks me questions back when they get interviewed on Experts. Everybody forgets because they're so busy thinking about their answers. So, as the resident leader taking over hosting duties, Jimmy, I don't really like Captain America. No.
Pick a number 1 to 10.
What's up? If anybody has questions they want to ask in the chat, please put them up there, and one of our distinguished guests will ask them. James, yours is floor.
Joker. Pick a number 1 to 10.
8.
Number 8. What profession other than your own do you think you would be good at?
Good at? Ooh.
Good at. But do you think you would do well?
I think I said teacher before, but I kind of am a teacher, and I said writer before, but I'm sort of a writer, so I would say a lawyer. I would have loved to be a lawyer. I think I'd be a good lawyer.
Yeah. Why?
I wanted to do law school when I was coming out of high school. I had global studies, or was it U.S. history one with Mr. Kasha. Mitch knows him. He's a really cool teacher. And I really liked the class. And we were doing law and all that stuff. So I really liked law. I liked writing the opening statements and the closing statements. I didn't like asking questions. So that was kind of like a downside. And I read the book 1L by Scott Turow about his first year in law school. I was just like, probably not. Hey, Austin, what's up, sir?
All right.
I feel like that's a Leo thing for jobs, because back in the day when I was younger, I was like, I wanted to be a lawyer too. but to argue, not really about the closing statements or the opening statements, but just that you're allowed to argue.
Or is that more just a female thing?
No, it's not. Because now I don't argue. Was there a certain law that you wanted to go into?
I think now, I would do educational. I think that's really interesting. I find a lot of work, and how it is with 504s and CSEs and IEPs and all that stuff, and parents don't know enough. Schools don't try hard enough. So I would do probably education law. I think that would be fun.
All right.
So, am I the only one that's sitting here wondering about the Captain Obvious one? Because he does a lot of it already. So, if he was doing something else, I figured it would be a writer.
Well, I answered that, Mitchell. I addressed it. I said, well, since I've already published books and I'm already pseudo a writer, I think writing would frustrate me, though.
But you said that, like, you wanted to be a lawyer, but you're doing the interviewing. So you're actually in this format, you're asking questions. So
Yes.
In reality, you have been doing everything that you wanted to do growing up in some aspects.
Mhm.
Bravo.
I would say partially correct, M. I do ask questions now in the interview stage, but I feel like with law, their questions are usually to try to discredit or make somebody feel like they're wrong or being dishonest. I think that's what a lawyer does, from what I've seen, or disprove. I'm not necessarily trying to disprove people when I ask questions now. I like to gather information.
Hold on.
So let's just go around the loop. But I actually have a question for the other gentleman on screen.
Uh-oh.
Oh,
What was Joker like as a preteen?
Man, we just made a whole left turn just now.
Yep.
Like,
Yeah, we sure did.
no smooth transition at all. We just hard left.
Because there was nowhere else for that other. bit to
What?
go.
So hold on. I'm sorry. Repeat the question.
What
Hi,
was
Mr.
he
Baker.
like when y'all first started hanging out?
how old were you?
How old are you in 7th grade? Like 12?
12,
Oh, so
13.
12,
Yeah.
12,
See, I was just
10,
a
11,
I was just
11,
a
12, like 11, 12, because 8th grade is now like
Okay.
13.
Yeah, see, I was just a impressionable young adolescent that didn't know any better. If only I had a time machine and I could go talk to that boy. What was a young Joker like? I don't honestly.
The same.
Yeah, like for real, like basically exactly the same. Jovial, ridiculous, loud, friendly, good peeps. Yeah, somehow literally the exact same person.
I don't think I was as loud as I am now. I think I was more shy probably when I was younger.
I agree with that, but I mean, so was I. But at the same, even with that said, we were both loud. We might not have been loud as often, but we were still loud.
Loud
mean-
in comfortability, like in your personal circle.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Which it holds true. I mean, I think for me, it held true through most of my life and probably still holds true. So that makes sense. And yeah, but yeah, no, the loudness was definitely there from the jump. And yeah, I don't know that I have anything profound. Like, really, the same dude. Like, his personality was his personality. I mean, obviously, I'm sure he's had plenty of personal growth and whatnot, as we all have. But yeah, his personality was this when we were 12 years old.
That actually doesn't surprise me. That kind of real. Did you two think you would still be friends, however many years later?
I don't know that I had a choice. And like I say that like as a joke, but I also say it kind of serious because like, you know, I think you know, once you become part of the Achille tribe,
You can't get out.
yeah, you can't get out.
You don't get out.
Like, you know, I mean, I ended up going, you know, like I said, like I ended up playing ball in college for a year, you know, up in Massachusetts where he was going to school. And like the only reason that happens is because basically Achille was like, bro, you should come, you can play ball here. You should come play ball here. Come up here. Blah, blah, blah. So as we know, when Sir Joker has a strong opinion, he will let you know over and over and over and over and over and over again.
Yeah, that hasn't changed either.
The only thing,
It hasn't changed either.
the only thing he's failed on in his opinions is me moving back to New York. So 20 years later, he's still telling me I'm going to move back. And I'm like, bro, at this point, by the time you hypothetically get me back, you may not be in New York. So
You're not wrong.
But yeah, outside of that, his opinions generally have influenced.
As they do.
Yes. So, but at the end of the day, you know, generally those opinions are colored in looking out for one's best interest.
Heard.
So it works.
What about you, Joker? Did
What?
12-year-old Joker think the two of you were going to be best friends forever?
I think I'm one of those weird people where if I trust people, as long as they don't lose the trust, I don't really move like we're friends or we're not friends like that. I haven't had a lot of friends that I've cut off and a lot of friends that I've lost. If I trust you, I trust you. And I typically kind of work with the mantra trying to pick friends up, pull people up. Like if someone's having a bad day, if somebody's not, you know, I'll always listen. You know, I'll always try to help. So I didn't think about it when I was 12. I think that the biggest difference is like, you know, I wasn't probably as confident as I am now. I was a lot shyer than I am now. It took a lot. I don't think I really broke out of it until like 18. Like I was real, and nobody will believe it. And I have times when I'm quiet too. And stop laughing. I have times when I was quiet.
It's crazy. You're actually quiet.
I'm quiet at times. You see me in the. Go ahead.
Yeah.
You said what?
Oh, I was just going to say that I would use a lot of adjectives to describe you, but shy and quiet would be way on the bottom of the list. So that's like, I don't know. I'm surprised.
But I have shy and quiet moments now too, and it usually surprises people. Yeah.
Heard.
M works for me. I don't have times that I'm quiet, and you're like surprised.
Not when we're together. When you're together.
Is that my fault or is that your fault?
I guess it's my fault that I can't focus. Unfortunately, Achille will bring out my ADHD tendencies and I can't focus.
Wait a minute. Does this just explain the last like 25 years of my life? It's Achille's fault. Some bitch.
But you know what it is? It's what's funny is it's not like a negative thing. It's just the fact that you're able to just be you and you don't have to do that masking. And because we've had these conversations, like I'm totally able to like put down my mask with Achille. Although he's also called me out and said, like, you're not being you. And Achille has seen me as me. And I'm like, but there's certain times where I'm like, wait. There's professional me, and then there's when I can be me. So there's that little like tipsy turvy thing right, that we have to do, but we're getting there. I honestly don't know how many childhood friends I would trust if I didn't reconnect with them through Facebook in general. I just think it's pretty cool that Achille's still friends with someone for so long, because I'll tell you right now, I do not have any childhood friends.
See, but I also think that I would say the one time me and Mitch weren't as close was when we were spending the most time together. Like when we were playing ball together, probably the time when we didn't see each other as much. I mean, obviously basketball practice, but I think it was just like, all right,
Going
we see each
through,
other
going through the motions. Yeah,
yeah, we
I'm
see each
tired.
other all day. Yeah,
Oh
so
my God.
and
I got distracted. I'm sorry. Dylan's comment. I don't even recall saying peeps, but now I'm going to be sure I can squeeze it in as many times as possible smoothly over the next 45 minutes. Sorry, I digress. Back to the topic at hand.
Right. Got quiet.
Achille, it's funny too because I don't think we realize it. Maybe because I'm gonna say just lucky that a lot of lifelong friends and like when I moved to Florida and like I met and like made new friends down here, like, and it was like even people that grew up here and they had like, and we were like mid-20s at that point, mid-late 20s, and like they didn't have like friends from childhood. And I at first I was like, all right, what's wrong with this dude? Like, why does he not have any friends? Like he grew up here. He should have fucking friends. But I've come to realize like it's not the norm, I guess. So, and like I guess I'm blessed and we're blessed because like me and Achille, like we've been friends all the time, but we also have mutual friends that we're both still friends with for 25 years.
Wow, that's cool.
Yeah, it's probably like for let's see, Nick, Tim, Vicky.
I didn't even think about that. Yeah.
Cute.
What about cute? Yep.
There are people that like.
Like it's wild, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dylan, Adam, who's on it. I've known Adam since I was. So Adam grew up around the block from me. I grew up around the block from him. Depends which way you want to be. I've known him since probably 7th grade, 6th grade, 7th grade, and now I luckily get to live in the servants' quarter at his house. See, Jimmy Nails? He's trying to find glitches in the matrix.
Yes.
Always been an agent of chaos.
Yes, he has always been the Joker.
So that's actually a solid segue into another question on my list.
Uh-oh.
Why Joker? Like, why pin your name to a supervillain?
So I know you've heard my hot take that I think Batman's the villain and Joker isn't. He's more like the anti-hero. But I'm not going to say that right now. I would say that when I saw Dark Knight when it came out, I was like, oh, he's really cool. I like the way he played it, Heath Ledger, because he's the best one. Everybody else can kick rocks. I like the way Heath Ledger played the Joker in the movie, and the questions that he posed were psychological, but they were so much more a look at yourself. Batman, he was challenging Batman to look at himself, and he was challenging Dent and everybody in Dark Knight to look at themselves. That's funny. Touche, Mr. Dillon, touche. But why the Joker? It kind of sucks. I just like the Joker. I would say that I liked him. I just took to him. And again, I don't look at him as a pure villain or hero. I look at him as like Batman's counterbalance. And if you look at Batman, you can't look at, because I don't think you can look at Batman as a pure hero or a pure villain. Because if you go through like the lineage of, I'm not a huge cartoon or comic book person. I'm like a pseudo nerd. So I would say that looking at the transformations along the movies, Batman went from the good guy, to the victim, to the vigilante, to almost being the anti-hero bad guy in Batman vs. Superman. Mm-hmm. And it depends on how much you like him or don't like him. I don't really care. But I've always liked the Joker because of what he portrayed in the movie. And now I've taken to the Joker because I do think that chaos is fun.
So you said before, and this is just like my brain clicking over, so bear with me while I articulate this. You said before that you like the Joker because he shows people themselves.
He makes them question themselves.
Right. Do
Mhm.
you think that's what you do as a therapist?
Of course. I think. Ooh, good question, John Bainbridge. I think that as a therapist, my job isn't really to question somebody; it's to challenge them to think about whatever it is their problems are. Because most of the time, the solution is within themselves. So I could talk to somebody for an hour, but if they're not willing to invest into the conversation, they're not going to help themselves. I can't give you answers. You can give you answers. So when you talk about like the whole social experiment he did in Dark Knight, well, it's interesting because in that moment, everybody on the boat had to question themselves in the choice they made for them.
That's interesting.
Why identify with the monster? I don't look at him as a monster, Mr. Bainbridge. I look at him as, I say agent of chaos, but I also think that he's somebody that makes people really think about why they do the things they do. That's CBT. That's cognitive therapy. How did you get there? We always ask the why, but how did you get to that choice to, do what you do? Like if I talk to M, me and him have had a lot of conversations. So if I ask M, why do you do what you do? I understand why she does what she does because it makes sense for the way she was brought up in the kind of, we're going to call organized chaos, that now her brain is very much tries to put things into an order.
Thank you. I'm very good at my job because of my PTSD.
No.
that was just a nice way of saying it. You said it just really pretty. In layman's terms, that's really what it was.
Or second, do I have a favorite villain before the Joker or a second favorite? Joker's an anti-hero. He's not a villain. I like Killmonger a lot. I like Thanos a lot. I like Ultron too because I love James Spader. I don't like Ultron. Who he was kind of.
You like more of the actor who played him.
Yeah, I like James Spader. I love
James Spader is a really good actor, though. I like him.
What else would I know him from besides that? What else has he done?
Blacklist. A lot of John Hugh movies.
The Secretary.
He was the villain in
He's
Pretty in Pink.
From the John Hughes movies.
One of
I know
80s
exactly
movies.
who he is.
Yeah.
Thank you. That put that together in my brain. Thank you for that.
Although, Achille, I do enjoy the fact that you dropped the movie The Secretary, which is an S&M movie.
That's another one.
That's the only ones I really know him from. I know him from Boston Legal. I know him
Boston Legal, yep.
And that's why Boston Legal in the Practice was when I was really introduced to him. And I liked his speeches. So a lot of times I try to learn from how people talk. So when I'm teaching and stuff like that, I try to take lessons from what people are saying and how they talk. Like when I would go to church with my ex-wife, I would listen to the preachers to hear, like, how are they putting their message across? When are they dropping jokes? So I kind of always am trying to learn. That's another thing probably about therapy that I like.
And weaves in why you write too, I imagine.
Why what?
Why you write.
Yes.
It's like
I write because I don't like talking about feelings.
So you put them on paper. Heard.
Yes. Top 5 albums in the genre. Albums. The Black Album. From Where by Mad Skills.
Wow, I'm surprised Mad Skills didn't get
on the spot.
Redman, What the Album, The Roots, the one with Proceed, I can't remember the name of the album. Phrenology, I think, and Keisha Cole, this album with Love and all that stuff. I can't remember the name of it.
I'm kind of shocked you had to think about that hard.
I'm more an artist. Just like I'm more like basketball players instead of teams.
I don't know. I was surprised they could. I don't even know that I can name 5 albums, period. And I'm a huge music head. I just don't remember album names ever. I
feel
mean,
like not anymore. Not anymore.
Yeah.
Like, you know.
Oh, I would say like honorable mention, 444 by Jay. I would say that because of what it meant for his like growth as an artist.
I'm still amazed that Mad Skills made the cut. I figured he was exiled because he did a Shaq diss back in the day.
So what?
Joker have a thing for Shaq.
I love Shaq. He was my favorite player.
The
I
Diesel.
know that about you.
And a rapper and an actor. He was a triple threat.
He's not really really a actor.
All the things.
First of all, he played that genie awesome. What was it,
Shazam.
Shazam or something?
Yeah.
Better
And
actor
wait a
than
minute.
rapper.
I like him in all the Adam Sandler movies.
Yes, he's good in those.
Yeah.
I'm not saying he's bad. I just don't really look at him as an actor. A lot of times, like I'm critical when somebody crosses over. Like Lauryn Hill,
Mm-hmm.
she presented herself as a rapper and as a singer. So I'll say she's a rapper and a singer and an actor because I saw her first acting.
Right.
But she doesn't act that much.
No.
In
Well, she doesn't do a
what?
lot.
She was a Sister Act too.
Yeah,
She was a Sister Act
Back
too.
in the Habit. Come on.
Oh my
I haven't
God.
watched
Jay,
that movie in probably 20 years. I'm gonna have to take my white ass to go watch that movie again. Clearly,
It's my
Blue
favorite.
Chips is great. Jeffrey Miller. Good call.
Blue Chips is great.
Thank you, Mr. Dillon. You are correct.
In fact, Achille, I still
Yep.
quote Blue Chips to this day with the SAT line. What is it? He's like, you get 500 points for putting in your name. He's like, well, that's it. He spelled his name wrong.
I spelled my name wrong.
Oh, classic.
Oh, since you asked, if I was gonna say like 5 influences, it would say Jay, Shaq, Denzel, of course, because
Oh my
I'd
God.
marry Denzel if I didn't have a wife, and if I was gay. Denzel.
I forgot about
I would say
Denzel.
Oprah, and I'm trying to think who else I want to meet. James
you wanna
Spader.
meet?
I would meet James Spader.
James Spader. These are
I think-
people you wanted to meet? I thought these were people that were like
Influence.
inspired. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Really, Oprah?
Yeah. She had a book club, and she does the
Book
the
club.
master class. I like the
We're
master.
talking about Oprah.
Yeah.
She does the class.
She actually just, I believe, co-authored a book with a man named Arthur Brooks, who she like literally like was pinging him like, we need to do this book. And I just discovered him because he was on the Tim Ferriss podcast. And this guy is awesome. He's like a social scientist or whatever he teaches at Harvard. And I mean, I gotta assume he doesn't suck if Oprah wanted to do a book with him. But yeah, and like on that podcast, he went through all these different things. But one of the things he talked about that blew my mind, he called it the 4 false idols, and we're all a slave to one of them. And I was like, this is amazing. And then I figured out like which one mine was, which is pleasure, because like money, power, fame, I'll scrap all those just to be comfortable.
mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
So wait, it's money, power, fame.
Money, power,
and
fame, pleasure.
pleasure.
Yeah, those are the 4. So it's like, and then he literally just asked like 3 basic questions to whittle it down. And it's like, you know, most people know me and they think money because I'm like financial and blah, 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 and I invest a lot and all that. But it's like, no, I want to chill. Like,
Yep,
and I don't
John.
care about power and I don't care about fame.
Money
it
is
be-
a tool toward comfort. That's all.
So
But I also think it
No.
depends on your. Oh, I'm sorry.
no,
I
no,
think,
you
it
go ahead.
also I think it also depends on your upbringing because there's certain things that if you didn't have, because I don't want to say that you didn't have it, but I
I had
know
0 money growing
that.
up. 0.
Yeah.
Like 0.
So you So the thing is that you appreciate more because of the fact that you didn't have it back then. Just like stability and things like that is something that like I crave now because that was something that was very chaotic when I was a child.
Oh, 100%. And at the end of the day, we're all products of our childhood. So I just found it super
Yeah.
interesting. And now I'd like to know, since we're supposed to be grilling Achilles, what Achilles' false idol is.
Yeah, okay.
What
So
are
what's
them
most
again?
important to you? Out of those 4 things, Achilles, what's the most important to you? Power, money, pleasure, or what was the 4th one?
Fame.
Fame.
Thank
Fame.
you. Fame. I want to guess. Does everyone want to guess?
Fame.
Can we all do a guess first?
For Achilles?
Yeah. What do you think? Em,
Fame.
which do you think is his?
You know what's playing in my head right now? The Lil Kim song, Money, Power, Respect.
I mean, good song. Actually, I just literally heard that at the gym yesterday.
I would say it would be a toss-up between, I would think, power and fame, but not power in the sense of like control, but power in the sense of being able to do a lot of stuff.
Yeah, power to affect change.
Yeah, not so much power like dominate the world, create chaos, just a little bit, that's his alter ego. But I would say that, and I would say fame because again, we're Leo, so we love the limelight. So
Jimmy, are you a Leo also?
No.
Okay, I was gonna say if you were, I'm out. I don't even belong here right
I'm
now.
about as Leo opposite as I possibly could be. I'm a mid-September Virgo, but I was raised
the
by
Virgos that weren't good enough to be Leos.
I was raised by 2 Leos, so I
you
know
were raised by
all of the people who go out of their in my life who go out of their way to give me a hard time are Leos.
I don't know if they just do it to you. I think they do it to everyone because every Leo I know pretty much gives me a hard time.
But I definitely know they do it to me. Isn't
Yes,
that right?
Oprah did launch Dr. Phil, John.
Yes. So
you keep jumping it up. He did. She did.
I know. No, I know. And I was going to answer it. That's why I put it up. You were talking before. I didn't want to interrupt.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Because I know somebody likes to read the quotes up there instead of
I do. I can't help it. I can't.
I know. That's why I took it down.
It pops up and then I'm ready to read it. It's just
too many ADHD people in one room at the same time.
Yep.
I love it. This is great. Neurodivergent.
When I'm the one trying to keep us on task, we're in trouble. Because I'm notorious for 7 different directions.
To answer the question, what's it called?
I believe it's called the false idol. I hope I'm not misquoting.
My false idol?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe money, but I agree with what you guys said. I would say probably money because
I never would have guessed money.
You need money to take care of a family, Mitchell.
Yeah, but it's not something that drives you.
Mm-hmm. Maybe he does work like 7 jobs.
Yeah, exactly. That's how I know money doesn't drive him. Because if money drives him, he'd be doing something that didn't have him working 7 jobs.
Like what?
We're not going to fall into a financial lesson here.
Just pick your false idol.
I'm going with fame.
Okay, I'm gonna go with power because Im said it.
Yes,
you like what? Like how I said it.
Hello, Mr. Get Bent.
He's going to get bent.
I like Dr. Phil. A lot of people don't. I like Dr. Phil for his brief therapy techniques. You don't have to like him as a person.
I thought he wasn't a therapist. I thought
he is a psychologist.
Ooh, I have a question, Achilles. Do you know the answer to this? I heard that show Bull is based off of Dr. Phil.
I started watching it. It is. He's one of the producers on it.
Wow, that makes me not hate Dr. Phil as much because I love that show.
Yeah, Em, you should watch it.
I know. Once I'm done watching NCIS, because I'm on the last season.
I think I'm on 15.
I'm gonna start watching Bull. That was like my next one.
Sure, Adam.
I mean, that's a rhetorical question. It's always yes to that. Steak sandwich? Yes. I'm in.
I like Dr. Phil because I like his brief therapy techniques that he uses on his show, because a lot of times it helps you get to quick answers. And sometimes you need to get to quick answers as opposed to long drawn out. So that's why I like Dr. Phil. I don't really consider him a therapist. I consider him a opportunist. If Oprah put me on the show, I'd be like, what do you want me to say, Oprah? You gonna give me millions?
All right, Jimmy. I'm gonna throw now the left turn, the hard left turn for you.
For it.
I want an opinion from Jimmy and M, and actually everyone listening. There's something that I've said about Achille for years that he actually doesn't even know that I basically like say about him in terms of like a comparison or like who he is, so to speak. And I've said it to like any girl I've dated that's met him, or any like friend I've introduced him to that he doesn't know from growing up. And between the fact that he writes, the fact that he essentially does like a little bit of fame, the fact that his like facial expressions and reactions are like almost the same. Achille is basically the next Steve Harvey waiting to happen.
Totally.
Minus
Totally.
you kicked him out.
I just got exiled.
I think it was
right. Every time I watch Family Feud and I see like his facial reactions, I'm like, it's literally Achille. And then like when he had, Steve Harvey had his like the daytime talk show getting into serious stuff, and he's talking about like relationship stuff. I'm like, Steve Harvey basically stole like Achille. I'm like, this is like Achille could be the next Steve Harvey.
Minus the fancy suits, because Achille likes to wear all those t-shirts.
Yes, he'll be wearing Killer Clown t-shirt and stuff. And that too, apparently. Yes, that'll work.
Repping the squad. Gang, gang, gang.
But yeah, that's something I've always thought about Achille for a long time now that I've actually never shared with him. And like, and that's why, and this is why money is not his idol, because if it was, he would be Steve Harvey.
I don't think he takes kindly to this comparison, judging by the faces he's been making.
Super successful dude. I think it's a compliment.
I think he would have preferred Denzel.
Well, yes, but then I'd just be lying.
Mr. Bainbridge, please elucidate.
Hey, you want to be on the show?
I don't like people that seem to be inherently hypocrites. He seems to come across as a hypocrite from what I've read or heard about his personal life and what he.
You are probably completely correct, sir. And this has nothing to do about him personally. It has to do with his
mannerisms,
persona, his presence, his mannerisms, the way he talks, the jokes he makes, the way it's the way he reacts to people too. It's like the same facial reactions where it's like basically, I can't do it. If I do those things, people think I'm an asshole. But for some reason, like when Achille does it or like Steve Harvey do it, it's like funny. And it was just like
when you ask a stupid question and they just go,
yes.
Oh my God.
Like if I roll my eyes at somebody, I'm an asshole. Achille does it and it's funny.
That is every third interaction I have with Joker. He makes that face at me, and yet here I am. There's something about magnetic charisma.
Yes, I guess Steve Harvey's okay. His book
wasn't a comparison. It was more of a. This is literally like you could be that successful, in my opinion.
Who could host the Family Feud? That'd be awesome.
Dylan's having a lot of fun with the double P word.
I don't know if I would want to host the show, but yeah, I guess that would be okay.
You can be a great I always wanted to be on it.
Price is Right or Family Feud.
We can have M's family versus Jimmy's family. Everyone's got to wear.
My family that name.
And Achille's gonna make everyone wear horror movie T-shirts, and it would probably be fitting.
It would, but Jimmy's family, I think it would.
Yeah, I'm glad you said it. Like I don't know Jimmy well enough to make that joke.
I would.
It's totally.
My family's really competitive.
Oh, that would be entertaining.
like get angry. Like if you
I can. I mean, you're Latino, right? So Latin family. Yeah. So makes sense.
yes, pretty much.
And I know her mom, and I know her brother, so it would be really interesting. That would actually be hilarious to watch.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it
Sounds
was.
like we need to do a low budget family feud.
Low budget. You can finance us. I'll be the host.
We'll do
You get it back
we'll do
in.
it online. We'll do our own
Let's
family.
do this big. And I work, and to answer the other currency, I like working for emotional currency. Jaworski. That's the financial.
Exactly, emotional currency.
Yeah. And I don't want to do therapy for. I don't want to just do therapy. It would be annoying.
Well, then how are we still friends? 'Cause I feel like for 35 years, you've basically just been doing therapy for me.
I just listen to my friend and talk to you. Everybody says that, but when I do therapy for real, it's different.
I know it's different. I know this now that I actually talk to a therapist that isn't you.
I think
it's you get what you pay for, right? So it's like if you want the good stuff, you got to pay for it. Oh man, we got 19 minutes left. I'm
There's
earning every one of them.
Spotify, and then you pay for Spotify without ads.
There you go. Wait, I don't even pay. I don't even. Shit, I have a podcast that's like on Spotify, and I won't even pay for Spotify.
Oh boy. Next question, or are you guys done? Not done.
Next question.
I mean, I have questions,
Nothing's over.
but they're all around.
So what?
Go for
Alright.
it.
Really?
Rapid fire.
Go for it.
Do it.
All right. I mean, mine
Do
are
it.
a little bit more different, but all right.
Of course they are.
They are. What was your favorite book as a child?
That I remember the Metamorphosis. I read it in 6th grade.
Oh my god, that was your favorite book?
Yeah, I liked
that. Was the one?
I liked it.
Isn't that the one where he slowly turns into the cockroach?
He wakes up as a cockroach.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah.
I'm glad you told me. Now I don't have to read it.
The book that came out. Like,
All right.
yeah, the Metamorphosis.
The Metamorphosis.
It's-
Okay.
Play on like life
Isn't it
and
Kaufman or something? Kafka.
Kafka.
I remember.
Franz Kafka. Go ahead. Me and Jimmy talked about it on our show when we talked about books for 2 episodes.
Sorry.
As I said back then, it explains a lot about your personality, and it explains even more about your personality to find out that you read that book at 12. Anyway,
I know. I think I read that book when I was in college.
me too.
I think that was okay. So it wasn't just me.
Yeah. No.
Never heard of it until just now,
Maybe
so.
high school. Maybe high school. I'm not sure. All right. What was your favorite toy as a child?
I drew a lot, and I would make up imaginary worlds. I didn't. I mean,
with
toy.
your drawing or
Yeah,
or like
I would
in
make
your mind?
imaginary worlds, and I would like act out whole worlds in my head. And I
Got
had
it.
like a run line. I had a running storyline for a long time.
Do you still know it?
No, it changed. It was like so when I think, I see things kind of like a movie. So it kind of
Right.
goes from scene. That's how I dream. So that's kind of how the thing. So it was scene to scene, but it was always progressing.
That's so creepy. I do the same thing.
That's
I'm not
awesome.
alone.
Wait,
Oh,
that's
I'm
not
aware.
how your mind's supposed to work?
I'm so neurodivergent.
That's how
I just,
ADHD brain works,
See-
I guess.
but I don't think I'm ADHD. I wish I was, but I don't think I am.
I don't think you are either.
I don't
you
think I'm
keep
ADHD.
saying that, sir. But like,
No, I'm
you
serious.
surround yourself with enough people of a thing, and there's probably a reason.
I would
But
say
then that can also be your vocation.
I would say that honestly, I have more autistic traits than I have ADHD traits. But I don't. But I would say if I'm anything, and my brother's also autistic, I would probably say I'm
but ADHD and autism symptom
They're very
characteristics
comorbid.
overlap. So that's
Yeah.
why we get along so well.
Right,
is
but I
because-
don't think I'm enough ADHD to say I'm ADHD. That's what I'm saying.
Mhm.
And I don't think I'm enough autistic to say I'm autistic. I think I'm really kind of like in the middle.
You're just enough to see the Matrix and help both sides.
Yes, I am the Matrix, though.
There we go. So you're Neo. We figured it out finally.
No, I'm Morpheus. I'm not Neo. Why would I
Of
want
course
to be
you are.
Neo? I wouldn't want to be I wouldn't want to be Neo.
He wants to give the pill to everyone.
Yes,
Which
that
one do
makes
you want?
way more sense now, actually.
Thank you, Jeremy Miller. I appreciate it. I like to be high functioning.
So,
Yes, dear.
then I was like on a writing theme. That's why I was asking these questions.
Do
So I will. Hold on, I gotta ask a question and then I gotta go to my husband really quick. So
Hi, Cal.
my question is what type of writer would you want to be, or writing style would you want to be able to do, but you just can't do it? Like it's not your strong suit, but you really wish it was. Or mechanic wise, you just can't.
I would
do
love
it.
to be able to do like sonnets. I'm just not, yeah, I don't like form and I don't like, pentameter and meter and all that shit. That's why I do free verse. But if I was it would be poetry, obviously, because I think I'm more natural at poetry. But I would want to do like sonnets or villainades or whatever they're called. It's just so very structured that I don't like, because that's why I didn't do MFA when I finished school. Because my three options were do an MFA in creative writing, do African American studies, or do mental health counseling. And I chose counseling because writing I felt like was going to make me too formulaic.
Mm.
How did you come to those three things as your options?
In high school, English was the easiest. History was my favorite, so I was a history and English double major. In mental health counseling, my ex-wife was the one that said, "You seem to be a good listener, and then I think you would be a good therapist." So it's her fault. And we did counseling school together.
Do you have any memorable stories from the business that you can safely share with us? Names have been changed to protect the innocent kind of deal.
Oh God, I have stories for days.
That is a good question too. Should answer that one first.
Any other topics I want to write a book on? I took you out to the stage, and
It's okay.
any other topic I want to do, and me and him have discussed this. She's going to help me out. I want to do an ADHD book called "101 with ADHD." That's the tentative title.
Which really just be hanging out with M.
No, you would be one of the people that I speak to. I know a lot of people with ADHD. I don't consider. Hold on, I'm answering. Hold on, Jimmy. I don't consider myself as knowledgeable about ADHD as I do autism, but by default, because I've dealt with so much autism, I've dealt with so much ADHD, and I've learned and I've gotten better with ADHD probably over the last year and a half or so. So I would do ADHD. I want to do a parenting book. I started it. I never finished it. I have like the outline. I just never had the druthers to write it, and I want to do part 2 to my relationship book.
All right, stories.
Lord, stories.
Experiences. The last question. Do you have
I know.
any?
No. I know. Do I have any
Sure,
stories?
any experiences?
I'll tell part of the story. I worked with a little kid. He was 5 when I met him. He was 5 when they were telling me his history. I met him when he turned 11. I met him on his birthday. I've worked with him going in his house to provide support. The best story I heard about him was when he was younger. He was hanging out. He used to live in South Carolina. He was hanging out with a neighborhood girl. Now, he was young. He had long hair. He was light skinned. He looked like Little Fizz from B2K. Mitch, that's a singer. He had long, straight hair, right?
I don't know who that is.
Oh, okay. You do?
I know what B2K is.
I didn't know that.
Especially because, like, am I mistaken? That was like from back in our day.
Yeah.
Like,
So
that's funny.
So he was hanging out with this young girl, and she was messing with his hair. He kept telling her to stop. He told her to stop again. She said, "Okay, you're not that cute anyway." Well, he got a little agitated. He walked to his house, got his little step stool. Remember, he's 5. Got his little step stool, went in the cabinet, got his steak knife, went back to her. When she said it again, he stabbed her in the shoulder with a steak knife.
Mm.
You didn't tell me she didn't do that again. His lineage is all messed up though. He had a lot of problems.
Mm.
He was at one of the hospitals out here, and he was waiting for a phone call. And he was talking to his mom. I'm sorry. The nurse said, "Hey, can you hang up the phone? It's time to go." He said, "Hold on a second." So she said it again. He got mad. He said, "I'm going to take this cord and wrap it around your neck and choke you to death if you don't stop fucking asking me for the phone." Those are 2 quick stories. Those are pieces of the stories I know about him.
That's not easy work what you do.
It depends. He never gave me any problems. He was sweet as pie to me.
Because you sat on his good side.
Because I was honest with him.
I think it's also the fact that you know how to build a rapport with someone, and there's that trust. But we're also in our profession, we're going to set our boundaries up front, so that way you're aware of what it is that you can and can't get away with, or how you're going to succeed in a coexistence with us. Because I don't want to call it a relationship, because we technically get paid, so it's not that kind of relationship, but just that, like, back and forth with people. Because the people we work with now, it's like they're more capable but still have their own issues with socialization, and it's like they're like, "We're friends," and it's like, no, we're not friends. Friends don't get paid to hang out with you. Like, if I was your friend, I wouldn't be here right now. I'd be in my house texting you. Like, we're not friends. I'm getting paid to help your short-term and long-term goals be successful without you having behaviors.
That's why Em is so good at what she does. Much better than No, I won't do slam poetry because I don't memorize stuff, and I think it's too performative. But it's fun. It's cool to watch. That's just not how I perform. Because I was watching Fine and Forrester, and he said, and Sean Connery said, "Well, what does performing of reading a poetry have to do with reading something has to do with writing?" So I think that when you write, I consider myself a writer and a poet more than I consider myself a performer, although I'm okay at performing. End scene. Bye, 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 bye.
I've got one that I really want to get to because I want to know the answer.
Okay. Babies come from the stork.
You die. The stories are true. You arrive at the pearly gates.
You die.
Okay.
What is it that you want to hear him say?
My wife and kids are good.
Denzel's inside waiting for you. That's what he wants to hear him say.
Because if they're good, I can go and do whatever. If I gotta go down the elevator shaft, I will. If I gotta go on, then I will.
It's an admirable answer. it being about other
But I don't
people.
want to be like, you're going to hell, buddy.
Who would be the first
I'll
person
it
you'd
out.
want to see
Huh?
when you go there? Who would be
My
the
mom and
first person you want to see?
My mom and my dad.
Mhm.
Of course.
Hanging out with Denzel.
Yeah.
Denzel's not going to die. You realize?
I know, Denzel's not dead yet. Don't jinx him. Many, much more things to do.
I assume Achille will outlive him, though. Although, who knows? Maybe I'm wrong. Pretty sure I'm
Maybe.
right.
Thank you for jinxing me, Mitch. I appreciate it. It's a good question. What about you, James?
You don't belong here. No, go away. No.
You would get the pearly gates that are made out of black marble and there's
Exactly.
red. Thank you, sir.
I want it to be like, if you've ever lived out in the country and like the area stray dog shows up at your front porch. I would want God to have that response to me. Like, no. Like,
Shoo.
go away. Shoo, exactly.
Time for you to go.
Sit, Ubu, sit. Good dog. And who was the first person you want to see?
My grandfather.
Oh, I was born.
Who'd you think?
I said grandmother, then I remember that's your grandfather.
They're both still
Yes.
alive.
I know.
Yeah, it would be my grandfather. My grandfather or my cousin.
Yes, that's true. I forgot about your cousin. Okay. Mitch, who would be the first person you want to see?
You know what? When you asked M, I was like, holy crap, I don't even know if I have an answer to this. And then when she said her grandfather, I'm like, that's probably my answer because, I mean, it's a super short list, which I'm blessed that is a super short list. But yeah, probably my grandfather, especially since I didn't get to say goodbye to him. Like, I literally missed him by like a day. I was coming into town the next day. So I would say my grandfather as well.
That's funny, Del Rich. Oh, I love it.
All right. You slipped back into your own ways and started hosting there again for a second.
I asked one question. I thought it was an interesting question.
It was an entertaining question. It was.
It is a good
It
question.
was a really good question.
You got any more of those? That list of good questions?
You or me?
You.
Me? I have one that I've been wanting to ask. Yes. Okay. So when I met Achille only had 2 children, and they were both preteen and teen at that point, I think. So, and we all know at that time it was more horror film T-shirts and sarcastic slang T-shirts, right?
Yes.
So all of a sudden, I haven't seen Achille in a while. He got married to Patty. She has 2 beautiful children as well. He became a parent of 4. Mm-hmm. And the next time I saw him, he was repping a lot of autism shirts, autism dad shirt. So what was, because I know Armani has autism because him and my son are best friends. So, but what was the catalyst? What was your turning point that all of a sudden that you decided to be the unspoken spokesperson for being an autism parent?
I wasn't an autism parent before. One.
You were or you weren't?
I wasn't. Not before.
I know, that's what I'm saying.
Armani's autistic. So they also got me the shirts, so I wear them. But I also still rock my horror shirts all the time.
I know.
So it's more balanced because I don't want him, and you'll know how this is, I don't want him to feel bad about having autism. I don't want him to feel judged. I don't want him to feel like it's a bad thing. So that's why I put him on the back cover of my book.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I put him on the back cover of my book, because it's something that I showed him. He goes, oh, "That's me," and he kind of laughed about it. He goes, "I look crazy." So I was like, I like that, you know, and it's probably been more so when I decided probably a few years ago that I want to work more with autism
Mm-hmm.
and be more of an advocate for autism, because that's what I ultimately want to do. Like, I'll probably just be working with, you know, ADHD, autism, and couples at some point. John Bainbridge, cut it out. I'm gonna kick you out the chat. Thank you, though. So I guess the biggest catalyst was Armani getting diagnosed with autism a few years ago. I think the second biggest catalyst is that Patty's so very much, like, you know, proud of it, that I didn't want him to feel that it's a bad thing, because a lot of people don't understand autism.
Right.
And he needs somebody to, you know, let him know it's cool.
And you're that person.
Like Afin.
Ethan.
Am I that person? No, I'm one of the people. because a lot of people don't accept it. But you know, my brother's autistic, and it's been my whole life. So, and Adam, you are his best friend, Mr. Beautiful Black Adam, as Armani calls him.
I'm gonna add on to his answer.
Good.
And it will be my parting words.
No, you won't.
So
it's 10 o'clock.
The last time I saw Achille, he came over to my mom's for dinner. He came straight from a session, and he was wearing a horror t-shirt. And I was like, wait a second, didn't you just come from a session? And he's like, yeah. I'm like, that's how you dress? He's like, my patients love it. I was like, this all makes sense. And I don't know what you're talking about with like 4 kids. He has 75 kids. Every time I go up there to hang out, he's got 75 kids with him. I don't know. People just give their kids to him. He's got white kids. He's got black kids. He's got Puerto Rican kids. Like I'm like, what is happening right now? So yes, you need to multiply that 4 by several numbers, because he has 75 kids. And every time I come up there, he has more.
I think I do.
Like it.
You know what? You're right. Because in your Facebook post, he's like hanging out with my other daughter. I'm like, I never met this daughter.
For real. Like, dude, like people just give their kids to Achille. Yeah, go hang out with Achille. Like, I went to Achilles was playing like in a league, like went to his basketball game. And like, I went to watch his game with like 2 of his daughters. It was like his friend's kids. Like they came over, and then the friends like left the house and left the kids there. And I'm like, this is sort of strange. And I'm like, what is happening right now? Next thing I know, I'm going to a basketball game with like 2 random like teenagers, and I was like, this is not your typical visit. Like, I don't like what is happening right now. So, but that is because Achille is one of a kind, and I guess that just goes to show you the authenticity of Sir Joker when everyone that he knows literally was just like, here, go hang out with my kids.
Yeah. So
yes, I'm going to leave on that note. So
no.
What?
Plug your shit.
I got nothing to plug. I got new stuff. I can't keep up. There's always Alchemist Nation podcast. It's on Spotify and all the places. That's the newer podcast I'm doing. I'm a co-host, and it is basically interviewing people that have built wealth, mainly through real estate, but through other things. And we also have a lot of mindset people on there as well. Some powerful people with that. And then, what else? I don't know. I wrote a couple books. I wrote a book on Bitcoin, and I wrote a book on getting started in real estate investing. So those are the things.
Nice. Thank you, sir.
Yes. Always a good time.
I appreciate
Jimmy, good seeing you. And nice meeting you. Achille, yes, you'll continue to haunt me in my dreams. So I won't say goodbye because you never go away.
Oh, it's nice to know it's not just me.
And on that note, I'm out. Shout out to Dylan, Lindenhurst High, represent. Go Bulldogs.
Ew. It's not Sir Joker's daycare. But it's similar to that, Mr. Bainbridge. I have a bunch of godchildren, and I have a bunch of friends of my kids and my children. I steal them all. I just take kids.
You are like the clown from It.
Hey, Georgie. I got a new poster. I got a new It poster today. Thank you. That's a good segue.
You're welcome.
Pennywise, another favorite?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Pennywise is another favorite of his.
Didn't know that about
Yeah.
you. I learned
You
something.
didn't know that?
No, I didn't.
Yeah.
So you just have a thing for
Pennywise.
clown.
No.
That's why you're
I
friends
like
with me, too. You got a thing for
Yeah.
clown.
I like Pennywise, and I like the Joker.
Mm-hmm.
I like Hannibal.
And what do those two things have in common, Joker? I take the step.
I said, and I like Hannibal, and I like Reddington. I know.
Who's Reddington?
Red Reddington from Blacklist. James Spader's character.
James Spade. Yeah.
Yeah.
James Spader. I never would have guessed that about you.
Wow, I love the voice is amazing.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah.
Um.
And he plays so smart.
Going back
Oh.
to those-
He's like such an intellect.
I like that. That's what I like about Hannibal. Thank you. I like what I like about Hannibal. It's not realistic, but I like the fact that he's intelligent.
Hannibal.
Yeah. That's why I also pick serial killer when I do the first question.
You have answered.
Have you ever been part of Achilles' first questions for the
Absolutely.
breaking the ice? I think my
I've
two
been-
favorite. What?
I was gonna say I've been on this show twice.
No, not this. Just in general with Achilles. So when I used to work with Achilles, we used to teach a class together, and he would always do the icebreaker. So the two that were always my favorite that he would do, it would be, if you were stranded in an island, what book would you bring to read? And then the other one was, what was your favorite superhero? And then it switched to superhero or villain. First, it was always superhero. Those were my favorite.
Yeah.
But I have one.
Go on.
I do have one. If you came across a genie and you were granted 3 wishes, but you had the same parameters as the genie in Aladdin gave you, what would your 3 wishes be? So you can't kill anyone. You can't make anyone fall in love with you. You can't bring someone back from the dead. And ixnay on wishing for more wishes. What
My
would your
3 wishes.
Yes. I made him think.
I would wait. Hold, please. Okay, James. I would. I think I get my PhD potentially.
Potentially, you would wish for a PhD.
Yeah, because I don't want to go to school again. I would want to meet Denzel.
Okay.
Even though I before. And I can't wish for more money, right?
No, you can. You can wish for money, but just
I
be
would wish for
specific.
money for the kids.
Money for the kids for what? I said you got to be
They
specific.
it's that.
Genies are
So they,
genies are sneaky, man.
I know.
You can ask for
I
all
would
the
make
money
sure
in the
they have-
world, and then it could be like
Had
a
all the money-
Twilight Zone episode.
Where they what? Where they was robbed from banks. I'm okay with that. They go to jail, not me.
No. They'd be set for life then.
Yeah, they'll be set.
Room, board, food.
That's good parenting. Yeah, I think that I get my PhD, meet Denzel, and make sure the kids have all the money they need. I make sure they get $5,000 each a week for the rest of their life.
Okay,
That's solid.
nice.
Debatable.
What
Thank
would you get what would you get your PhD in?
I don't know. That's a tough question. I would say I would more.
You don't have to go back to school. You're just
Huh?
you're just getting the
I don't wanna
PhD. It's not like you're gonna have to go back to school. But what would you get your PhD in?
No, I know. I would want to get it like in counseling, in mental health counseling, but they only there's only like 1 or 2 schools that have it. But I would do mental health counseling because I don't really want to do psychology and I don't want to do a DSW because I don't want to go back to start
You don't
social
wanna buy
working.
shoes?
Because I don't want to what?
Buy shoes.
I don't want to buy shoes. Correct.
DSW.
I don't like
Okay.
shoes.
That one went too fast. I didn't read it.
Oh. The wish to spell is cursed. Wish for world peace and everyone on earth dies. Never wish.
Or
I love it. I love that John Ingrid chose violence today.
Truly, uncharacteristically.
He's like, I'm gonna bask in this violence today.
I have some rapid fire related questions for you. Starting with favorite curse word.
Uh,
Or like curse words you use the most. Let's ask the question that way.
I don't think Achille curses.
I curse. I don't curse that much. Fuck. Or shit.
Okay.
Heifer.
Sound.
That's what I use the most. Heifer. Sorry.
Favorite sound.
Favorite sound.
Like a sound you like.
I know that. Thank you. Laughter.
Least favorite sound.
Whining.
Most used word in your vocabulary.
Denzel.
That's out.
That's a good answer. Most used word vocabulary. Like.
Fair. All right, that was my rapid fire
Rapid fire question.
noises our mouth makes question.
Oh, okay. Okay.
That was pretty much the bulk of my list that I think is worth asking.
You had a really good list of questions, man.
Have we? They
Your
are. They're personality test questions, actually.
Oh, good.
I was thinking more of, the guy that used to do the interviews, Will
It's
Ferrell
like,
would make fun of him
Lipton.
inside
Inside Fashion Studio. Yeah, they use a lot of these questions in there too, so that makes sense.
and I was like, wow, he really came with this.
They're good. It's a good list of questions.
No, they're
It tells
good list of questions.
two people those questions. Oh, I've got one more, and this is just me information gathering about Joker.
Nope. Is this
Is
for me?
there-
Or is this for him?
For you, is
Okay.
there a word or phrase that makes your skin crawl?
I just think of the
Um,
fact that the words that like most people skin crawl, we try to use on purpose. Like the word moist. Whenever like people who cringe at it, I love it because I have to use it more.
Mhm.
a word retarded makes my skin crawl.
Yeah.
The N word. I think anything that like implies that I'm not intelligent, like stupid or dumb or idiot, I don't really like that because that's one of the things I'm not. And like when the people like try to also imply that you're not black enough, because I've heard that for a long time, and it's just like, okay, I'm sorry, I'll get my PhD in being black. Words don't bother me. Images might. Ooh, okay. Now Bainbridge is on fire. They should come on the show, John. Just saying. Anyway, so more questions.
Do we have we exhausted our pre-existing lists, the both of us?
I think so. Let me see.
Oh, not so easy, is it? Oh, not so easy, is it?
Well, you know what the problem is there's like I know already like things about you, so to re-ask those questions, it's like, why am I gonna ask those questions? I know those answers.
Right.
Why did you go into therapy?
I went to mental health counseling school because my ex-wife said that I would be a good therapist, but I listened to, I don't want to say gave good advice, was a good listener. I originally went to counseling school and I was going to do academic counseling, which was like college counseling. They closed the program at my college that I went to. So I had to choose mental health counseling or choose school counseling. I didn't really want to be a guidance counselor. So I did mental health counseling. Fun fact, I tried school counseling, but I didn't. No, it was okay. It was probably too limited. We can only help so much. I think you're a counselor. The name, you're not necessarily counseling.
Which is interesting because you've said in previous conversations that you enjoy more counseling young adults or teenagers, adolescents.
Yes.
So for you not to be a school counselor and to actually now do therapy with adolescents is interesting, full circle. Which is really interesting for you, Achille, because you have a lot of full circle moments from this conversation.
I have a lot of full circle moments.
Like finding out more things about you, it all connects more. Like the fact that you wanted to be a lawyer, but in reality, everything that you said that were characteristics of being a lawyer, you do them in all different other aspects of your life. So I find that interesting.
Okay, what does that mean?
What does that mean?
What do you think that means?
That you've lived a complete life.
I'm not a therapist. I'm just stating.
I can't ask you what you think. I'm not asking you to analyze. I'm just asking you, what do you think that means? I don't look at it like that.
You don't look at it like that?
I haven't looked at it like that because I think that my life right now, I try to seek balance. That's what I kind of look for in life. I try to look for balance. So when I do, I like to. I don't mind adults. I don't like geriatrics.
What I think I mean by that is that I think it's interesting that although there was something as a child that you wanted to do, you found other things that you're really where your strengths are, and you're doing it. Those aspects of a lawyer, you're doing it. Like you advocate for Armani. You are a therapist for adolescents. You like to write poetry. You write books. It's the same thing. Like if you were a lawyer and you had to write the opening and ending, statements or look at things to research, you're doing it in that aspect. I just found that interesting.
Okay.
That you're able to do that. Where like me as a lawyer, there's nothing that I do now in my profession that is remotely like being a lawyer.
No.
Well,
my interpretation of a behavior analysis is that it's very, huh?
I'm sorry. Good.
No, what'd you say?
I said, under my breath, I said, it's not a lawyer. And I almost spit out my water.
My interpretation of behavior analysis is a lot like, I think, interpreting the law. I think you interpret behaviors and stuff like that, and you draw conclusions because it's the same thing. Because you look at ABA, you look at behavior from an ABA perspective. I look at it from like a CBT perspective. Not that your way is right and my way is right, whatever. They're both right. But it's the same. Okay, whatever. But I think that it's a very concrete way to look at behavior or look at things, because you're interpreting. When you're a lawyer, you're interpreting the law and you're applying it. When you're looking at behavior analysis, obviously you're applying it, and you're applying it to a person. So you're using it to benefit the person. So I think it's very similar. And you might not make opening and closing statements, but you teach and you do all of that, and you want to argue. I think when we go to a psych appointment, when we go have a meeting, when we talk to a parent, I think you are arguing the validity and veracity of your ideas and beliefs. So I think you do a lot of things that a lawyer does. I think you do more of the things that a lawyer does than I do.
I don't see a lawyer as a teaching. No, because I don't see a lawyer as a teaching profession. Where as a behaviorist, I would say it's more it's like being a teacher, but you're teaching the people, the staff, parents. I don't view being a lawyer as like a teacher aspect as you per se does. So that's why for me, giving you the characteristics of the fact that you being a lawyer at one point and everything you're doing right now full circles you.
Okay.
Through my thought process.
Thank you. That was the first time I found me. Oh my God, I've been up here. See? You're better than me, Bainbridge.
It is an unfortunate nature of how the world works that we live in, that works that way. I mean, that experience is not worth much in I don't know, the workforce, the world, that world. On that note, I think that my brain cells just popped. So I think it is time for you to call it a night. You two enjoy the rest of y'all's show, and audience knows where to find me. I have nothing to sell. go to my website, buy my ice cream. And good night.
Good night, James.
It was nice meeting you.
That was such an abrupt. I'm out.
Yeah, but but you can see, like, he was like, my two brain cells. Like, I'm like, oh wait, like his whole face changed.
Oh, that's
Those
funny.
he did. Oh my goodness. And then there were two.
Yes. Any more questions?
I don't have any more questions. Do you have any
Okay,
questions?
so do I have? I always have questions, but that's not what this is about. We just did
I
a
know.
whole episode of me talking, asking you
I know.
questions.
How does it feel? I thought this was your first show of someone asking you questions. This is the second time
Oh.
you've done it.
Yeah, first time was like a year and a half ago. It was a long time ago.
So how does it feel being in the interviewee chair?
I think it's easier to ask questions. It's easier to be asked questions than it is to not host. I like
Oh my
hosting.
Without a doubt, it's harder to host because I feel like I'm supposed to have like follow-up questions and I'm supposed to like have points to my statements. So it's like, oh, this is hard.
But you did have points. You had very good points. I think it's hard to have a flow to your questions if you don't have like an idea, like, and that's what made it fun. That it was the three of you, and it was just like you guys didn't sit down and talk about what you're going to talk about. So it was
and Jimmy went straight into it, and I was like, oh man, my questions are kind of done like sequentially. So it was like your childhood, and then you being a writer, because I don't know that much about you as being a writer. So that's where my questions were more based on, and then so
nice.
Yeah.
Okay,
interesting.
cool.
Hosting podcasts are hard.
I did all the hard work. What are you talking about?
I know you did. I did a couple of questions. Thank God you had Jimmy, man, or this would have been pretty boring.
It wouldn't have been boring. I would have probably given you a top.
I didn't have a lot of questions.
I asked. See, you know what? I ask questions I know the answer to because I but also know where I want to go. So that's like a little bit of different.
Yes,
you are right.
With the writing, trying to be. Well, if you want to be a writer, you just need to ask Achille, because Achille has influenced a lot of people to write their own books.
M's going to be next. She just doesn't know it yet.
Oh no, I'm just going to be someone helping you with your book.
So what question was the most thing for you? Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Wait, just to reiterate, I'm not officially diagnosed with ADHD. So you can't really have me part of an ADHD book that I'm not diagnosed. We just diagnose.
Who's the author?
What?
Who's the author?
You are.
Have you worked with people with ADHD before?
Yes, but I feel like they're more. But they're more. Their primary diagnosis is autism, though.
So
it's that autism ADHD combo. Comorbidity. Oh, I said it right. I have to slow it down. Comorbidity. As I butchered the word. Another one of those things.
Mr. Bainbridge, what would you like to know about the writing?
Step 1, find a topic. Step 2.
Step 1, the hardest part is to write. That's what people don't do. They don't. When they ask me, "Oh, I want to write a book," you have to write. That's That's the beginning. You have to write. You have to start writing. A lot of people don't want to do that.
Start journaling. Start journaling.
Journaling is a good way to write. Or some people, well, there's two types of writing. Well, two types of like outlining. One's called pantsing, and one is like when you actually sit down and write. Pantsing is when you kind of like just start writing. That's how I write. I just go right into the writing without an outline.
Mm-hmm.
If you have that ability to organize it in your head, you can do that, but that's hard. It helps to have an outline of what you want to talk about because it helps keep your thoughts coherent.
Helps keep you along the guided route. Yeah, I was never one to like an outline. Even in school, they're like, you got to write an outline. I'm like, that's too much work.
I know that. I didn't like outlines probably because I feel like with an outline, it's good to have an idea,
Mm-hmm.
but it's hard to take that idea and grow it.
Mm.
Right to the publish. I can start. Well, step one, Mr. Bainbridge, is to finish it. Publishing, trying to publish it, I self-publish. I've sent stuff to a couple of publishers, but that's just hard because you can't send unsolicited manuscripts anymore. So you need to have a literary agent, which is basically like a literary lawyer, a person to present your manuscript to a publishing house. But you have to present your manuscript to a literary agent. So that's why a lot of people are going the route of self-publishing. Well, if you have 3 books you're working on right now, Mr. Bainbridge, I would look at the 3 of them and see what the common through line is. Can you make them into one? Can you are there any things that combine them? Because I think that maybe you have one finished book in the midst of the 3 books you're working on. Do you want to publish?
I think that's why self-publishing is probably the way to go.
You control everything with self-publishing. You control everything with self-publishing. You control the content, the format, what you say, what you don't say. I think that's probably the best way to go.
For your anxiety.
Yeah, because you're the only one judging you. If you were submitting it to a publisher who's submitting it to an editor, I can understand that being anxious. That's anxious for anybody. Because even J.K. Rowling got rejected like 13 times for Harry Potter or something crazy.
That's crazy.
And if you were going to write a book,
yes,
what would you write your book about?
If I was going to write a book, see, to me, writing a book seems so much effort and time consuming. I couldn't even give you a topic because the fact that it seems so long. Although I would say that if I ever did write a book, it would probably be stories of being a behaviorist, but having to change, like it would be fictional? No. Or nonfiction. Fictional. It would be fictional. So it would just be like crazy stories that occur.
Oh, so then it would be nonfiction. It would be true.
It would be nonfiction. Well, no. Well, I'd have to
change the characters, yeah.
Yeah, I'd have to change a lot of things so that people wouldn't realize it was them, but have the key like things. Like my favorite one is the one where the gentleman told me that he was going to. Have I ever seen the movie Shawshank? And the scene where the guy gets beat up really bad, and then his mouth is wired. And in that scene, like the guy also, I believe, gets raped. So he said, "But I'm not going to rape you. I'm just going to beat the shit out of you until so that your teeth have to get wired." And I just shrugged and went, eh.
Oh, yeah. Oh, the sisters. The guy from the sisters.
The guy from the sisters? No.
The guy from the sisters. Oh, no?
No.
That he was the one at the end that got beat up.
Oh yeah, the guy from the sisters. Yes. I thought you were talking about the actual guy, because you met that guy. I'm like, the sisters. No.
Oh Jesus. Those are great
Yeah.
topics. If you want me to look at it, Mr. Bainbridge, that'd probably be easier. Then I can help you a little bit. I do that sometimes. I do try to help people out with their books because I think everybody has a book in them.
Mm.
But I think that Detoxing Masculinity, that sounds like the most fun. And that would stir the most controversy. See, Mr. Bainbridge is doing his Agent of Chaos thing. I respect it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh boy. All right, peeps.
Sci-fi,
One sci-fi.
history, tarot, and book about
Detoxing Masculinity.
Hmm.
Go right. 3 sounds
Yeah.
fun.
I think 3 is 3 the one that you have a lot of stuff on? I'm curious to know which one that he has the most on.
Well, sci-fi is probably the one that he has the most leeway with because it's in his head. A History of Tarot is going to be the one that probably is the most structured because you have facts. Yeah, it's facts and information. Detoxing Masculinity, what I like about that topic is that you can do anecdotal information as well. If you want to do factual, you can, but I like writing anecdotal books. Did you start my book? The book launch is going to be next month, right?
Yes, sir. Look, I got a vacation coming up. I plan to read it then.
It shouldn't take that long. Yeah.
I know, but that's when I'm going to have the free. I know, but that's when I'm going to have the freest time. Plane ride there, plane ride back.
All right, let me announce some stuff. Hold, please.
That's right, because I have nothing to sell unless I was selling myself. But I'm not.
I mean, that's probably a little debatable, but that's okay. All right. Oh, that's what I want to do. So, coming up, as we have our year end for both Everyday Experts and Overtly Opinionated, next Saturday, Mark Davis, a therapist person, I'm going to be interviewing on Experts at 9 p.m. Sunday the 29th, would have Overtly Opinionated. Me, seeing it, and Jimmy Jam are going to be doing a Halloweenish show. That should be fun. Saturday, November 11th at 10:30. We're going to have another Overtly Opinionated on November show. It's going to be called Make a Wish. Saturday, November 18th, Mr. Martinez is back, and we're going to be talking about stuff. Next month, I don't know when yet, Emmeline is going to be hosting with me the book launch special about Being an Anomaly. Going to talk about the book. She's going to actually read it. We'll probably talk about some stories about autism. We'll talk about how we got to the creative process of it. Also, Sophia is coming back, my young ingenue. She has a new book coming out of poetry. It is going to be her 3rd book, and I don't have my December guest list yet. And December 16th is going to be the wrap up for the year of Overtly Opinionated and Experts, and then we'll talk about what we are looking forward to next year, people. So, did he comment? There are so many subjects with masculinity. I'm trying to keep every subject less than 5 pages because they're okay. So, what I would say, John, is go back through it and try to suss out what's the most important things. I understand that there's a lot, but sometimes if there's too much, people aren't going to be able to digest it. But you can always message me in the Discord if you want to continue the conversation. I am here for you. But as for now, I'm Hyonin. her kids are going to start biting the doors soon. So I want to thank everybody for hopping onto the show. It was a pleasure. Mr. Bainbridge, Mr. Miller, Jimmy, Stephanie, I think, popped in. I didn't see who else was here. Anybody else was here? Thank you for coming on the show. Emmeline, thank you for your amazing questions and leadership. And we're going to see you back next month when you host the book release.
Yes.
Oh, how do you feel?
That I'm gonna read.
How do you feel about that?
Excited.
Okay. All right, peeps. Good night, Mr. Miller. AFK. I don't know what that means. I don't speak cool.
I don't know either.
Right? All right, peeps. Thank you for joining Everyday Experts. Don't go anywhere.
Okay.